Hello and welcome once again to another episode of From the Heart. As always, the show is brought to you by the West Virginia Library Television Network and by your American Heart Association. I'm your host, Kevin Pauley, Marketing and Communications Director for the American Heart Association. Well, for 100 years, the American Heart Association has been working hard to find new ways to help people live longer, healthier lives. And this year, in 2024, our centennial year, that job is no different. However, what may be a little bit different is how we're working to get the word out and how we're trying to meet people where they are. Now, of course, our community impact work continues to be a critical part of what we're doing here in West Virginia. As much of our state is a rural community, we try to get out and work with rural health clinics, and we try to help reach people where they are. Many times the people who need our help the most are the people who can get it the least because of their geography, socioeconomics, and many other factors that come into play. Well, one way we are trying to do something very different, but very innovative and at the same time, very, very fun, is working with our new partner in the community here in the Kanawha County community, and that is Link. And we are going to talk today with their CEO, Jeb Corey. Jeb, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Well, we're glad to have you here, and we're so glad about this partnership that's coming up, and we're going to get into the details about that. But first of all, I really wanted to kind of talk about Link, because it's kind of newer here in the territory.
It is. Yeah.
And I had been seeing the cars all over the place and really had no idea what I was looking at. And then suddenly I get the word that we're going to talk to you guys about a partnership. And I'm like, that's amazing, but what is Link? So if I don't know, I thought, maybe our viewers at home might want to get a little bit more information. So please kind of take us through what Link is, what it's all about.
Yeah, so Link is, like you said, it's relatively new in the area. And a few years back, we were trying to think of ways to reinvent things in the community. And so I come from a transportation background. And so we thought, okay, how do we take, current transportation and modernize it?
Sure.
So we said, I tell you what, we'll come up with Link Transportation. With the meaning being, hey, we want to link some of the traditional stuff in transportation with some of the new modern stuff. So, you can get a ride via website, mobile application, track your vehicle, all that good stuff that you can do in these modern
kind of
apps.
Like an Uber kind of vibe.
Exactly,
too.
right.
But localized, hyper-localized.
Hyper-localized. Take all the technology of those types of rideshare services and then maximize them with a boots on the ground partnership with us so that we can make things happen a little bit faster, maybe a little bit safer and so forth. And so we launched Link Transportation. And as you said, those are the cars that you see all around.
Oh, yes. And I do see them all the time downtown. Like they are everywhere in Kanawha County. I mean, everywhere I go.
We are everywhere. And we're constantly growing the fleet. And we're constantly looking for drivers. And most of what we do is non-emergency medical transportation. So we're, like you said earlier, we're trying to get to people, get them to the medical appointments that they need. And it's primarily in Kanawha County and surrounding counties, but we're trying to do a couple of ventures where we get to even more rural counties throughout West Virginia to help everybody that needs that help.
And the rural territories are definitely, in my previous work, I worked state government and did flood recovery work. And as I tell people, you learn really quick, there is such a thing as a country mile.
Oh, yes.
And so you see a sign that says 15 miles and like 45 minutes later you get there. But that is sort of the point of what we've talked about many a time on this show. If you are having an emergency and you live, way out way, it's one of those things where it might take EMT crews, 45 minutes to reach you. And so it's so critical. And one of the things we're going to talk about in working with Link, the importance of knowing CPR, the importance of calling 911.
Yes.
So, obviously the rural communities are a big thing that we're trying to reach out to because again, that's where it's so hard sometimes to find people. And that's so great that Link is really trying to get people to, hey, you got a doctor's appointment coming up. Well, you know what? There's no reason to miss it now because we can help you get there. That is a very admirable thing to take on.
Oh, it's a very challenging thing to take on. I mean, exactly what you said is I don't think everybody fully understands the geography of West Virginia.
Boy, it is a geography.
Right, and you can Google something and look something up and say, okay, from point A to point B, as the crow flies, it might be 5 miles. But the reality is you've got to go down a road, over a bridge, around a mountain to really get there.
Yeah.
And so trying to plan all that into scheduling, because you might have 200 trips in a day to get taken care of, and you have to keep all that stuff in mind. So it's a huge challenge to really kind of do that and still provide the quality of service that we try to do.
Well, and of course, as you said too, the importance of needing more drivers, because again, if you've got one driver going out to get one person picked up and they live 45 minutes away, that person's out for an hour and a half, easy. And then that's still other people that are going to be needing help. So you definitely have that need coming up. That is a genuine need. We know that for across the board. Now, Link is connected to Intoxi-Taxi. Am I correct on that? Or there's at least a history there? Perhaps?
Oh yeah, it's definitely a history there. Our family's run Intoxi-Taxi since January of 1982. So we've got an incredible knowledge of transportation in the area.
Obviously you do. I mean, CNH is established well and good, in the Charleston area in particular.
Exactly. But it was time, just like everything else, to take things to the next level, modernize things. And so that's what we needed to do, and that's what we did with Link Transportation.
So with Link, obviously you've got the app, so someone can just use the app and say, hey, almost very much like Uber, I've got to get to this point at this time. I need a ride, from here to there, and then you guys get the information and you send someone out to get them.
Absolutely, yes.
That's really great. I mean, it's so simple. I mean, it really is. Where can someone find that app, by the way? If they're on their phones and they're looking for that app, where can it be found?
Yeah, so Link Transportation's website is ridewithlink.com.
Ridewithlink.com, okay.
But you can also go to linkwv.com.
Okay.
Because not only do we have Link Transportation, but we have two other divisions focusing on linking the community together.
Love it.
And linkwv.com will get you to all three of those different divisions.
Excellent. So there it is up on the screen right there.
Yeah,
so
perfect. Exactly.
There it is. It's very colorful. I love the colors for Link, by the way. Your logos and stuff are so beautiful. It's so vibrant. And it really does stand out downtown.
It does. Yes, exactly. And our goal is to get that thing everywhere.
And again, right there you see on the website, and there's all the information that you need right there at your fingertips. And it's a very easy to navigate website. I would highly recommend if you've never checked it out, please go check it out, because Link is one of those programs that is doing really great work, and it's something that you should be aware of. And it may not be you maybe who needs it, but maybe someone in your family or a neighbor that you know of that could use that help. Link is definitely here to help. So Link has been around now for a few years. You're getting it out there. What are some of the results that you're seeing? Have people embraced the concept? I mean, obviously in this era of Uber and Lyft, I would have to think that it's probably caught on pretty quick.
It has, and again, there's a big difference between us and them. Because
I always mention the idea of ride sharing, because most people would say, oh, I know what Uber is, so I'm trying to just make sure that we understand. It's not the same thing, but it is kind of a similar concept.
Oh yeah, the concept is very similar, and when it comes down to it, it's all basically taxi work, right?
Right. No, that's what it ultimately comes down to.
Point A to point B for a fare. So everybody out there is saying rideshare or microtransit or whatever. It's all kinds of fun catchwords these days. It's all
we love buzzwords.
Right. Exactly.
We love buzzwords.
It's all kind of taxi work. But again, what we really focus on is linking that traditional and modern. So having the boots on the ground, having a human you can talk to, a call center that you can reach out to. You can use our website, use our app. We've got a phone number. You can pay with cash. You can pay with credit card. So we've taken all the dynamic options of transportation and bundled it up into one thing, and it's been great. And one very huge advantage of Link is that you can use Link vehicles for all types of rideshare or gig economy work. So if you want to use a Link vehicle and you want to do Link work, that's fantastic. But if you want to do Uber work, you can. If you want to do Lyft work, you can. If you want to do Grubhub, DoorDash, whatever it may be, you can use our platform to do that. So we're giving entrepreneurs the tools to be successful in a gig economy that focuses on transportation. So that's another huge advantage to our platform, is we have so much flexibility and so many options that we're trying to provide both the passenger different options as well as the driver different options, and we hope that's going to continue to be a successful forte in the future.
Well, and I really appreciate the emphasis on the passenger side too, just the idea of seeing that there is a need for people to get to, again, like you said, the non-emergency, but to get to medical appointments, and for so many people that lack of transportation can be a massive barrier.
Oh, absolutely.
It's enough for them to say, well, I'll just have to try to schedule another time. I can't get there. And I really appreciate the fact that there is now something to kind of fill in that void with Link, and that is something that you've made a priority. Talk about why that became something. Is that personal experience or just what you were seeing? Why did that need to get that non-emergency medical connection? Why was that such an emphasis in working on Link?
I think I've been doing this about 23 plus years now. And it's been countless, the number of meetings I've been to over the years. And even in April, I spent 6 hours on Zoom meetings with brilliant people all around the state saying, hey, West Virginia has a rural transportation problem.
Yeah.
And it does.
No, there's no buts about it. It absolutely does.
And to be honest, there's no true de facto solution at this because there's also a cost with all this.
Absolutely.
So over time, we've seen costs dramatically increase. I mean, my costs are anywhere up from 30% to 500% on some of the things that we do in our industry. And so you're thinking, okay, costs are doing this, but we have people in rural areas that need this type of transportation, and getting to those rural areas is not easy. We don't have the density of a dense urban area where you're just picking up point A, point B, and doing all this stuff. So it takes a lot of time and energy to get to these places. So one of the things that we're really trying to focus on, and this is something we've been talking about for decades, is coordination. Because if I can coordinate with either medical facilities, other transportation providers, whatever it may be, and we can get to somebody in a rural area, one person is a pretty big cost.
Yes, it is. Sure.
Two people maybe divides that cost in half. 3 or 4 or 5 people, we start dividing that cost amongst multiple trips. So we're trying to do as much as we can to coordinate with anybody who's willing to coordinate with us to try to lower that cost and get to the places where we need to be and give people the services they need.
And that's really important, again, because you have to think if there's one person in a rural community that needs that help, there are probably more than one.
Absolutely.
So if you can kind of find a way that sort of that carpool mentality, that definitely would make a difference in helping to A, get more people helped, and B, definitely knock the cost down for those people as well. And that is, again, a massive factor. There are so many factors we look at, when you look at social determinants of health. And access to health. The cost of living can be a massive issue for many. So I really applaud the fact that Link is really trying to make sure that we're getting these people the help that they need, and that I'm going to use that to kind of segue now to what we're going to talk about. We're going to take a really quick break, and when we come back, we're going to get into talking about the major topic of today's discussion, which is the Ride with Heart program, an innovative new program that's a wonderful partnership between Link and the American Heart Association. We'll have more information on that when we come back from this commercial break.
Of all the moments you share with your best friend, the greatest could be the moment you save her life. Every second counts in cardiac arrest. Learn hands-only CPR and be the difference for someone you love.
Welcome back to From the Heart. I'm joined today by Jeb Corey, CEO of Link Transportation, and we are about to talk about a very innovative partnership that has just literally been developed, and that is the Ride with Heart program. An innovative way to help get people the help that they need, and also while on their trip or their commute, to actually do some education on the way. Now, Jeb, I was approached by our Community Impact Director, Holly Mitchell, who could not be with us today, and we miss you, Holly. But she had come at me with this idea of this unique partnership, and that's definitely something in the community impact realm. That's where Holly has been so successful, is finding all these new partnerships, and whether it's been with our rural health clinics, rural dentistry, whatever that looks like, churches, she is just doing, amazing work out there. And so she had come to me about the idea of this partnership with Link, and so we had the call with you, and it was amazing how that took off. Explain a little bit about what was the reasoning behind, why did you want to get involved in something like this from your side?
Well, like you said, Holly's doing a great job of reaching out, and I think she used one of our web forms and just kind of reached out and said, "Hey, you think there's anything we can do here?" And I was like, Holly, tell you what, the sky's the limit. You want to get creative? We'll get creative. Whatever you want to do, we're up for it. Because again, that's kind of part of the heart of Link as well, is linking to the community, getting community information out there, getting people to where they need to be in the community. So I felt like it felt really part of our brand and part of our mission. So I said, hey, Holly, whatever you want. Here are some things we could do. And we just started brainstorming, and we're here. We're at Ride with Heart.
Literally, as a matter of fact, today during this taping, later on today, we're actually having a press event to launch this program. And I really thought it was interesting to be able to use, like, of course, the app itself will have like a little heart, heart symbol.
That's right. So if you use our Link Transportation app, and when you pull it up, when you look at these apps, you see little cars going all over the place. And we have replaced the cars with the American Heart Association heart. So now you'll see that on the app, which I think is super cool.
It's super fun, and it's just a great way to know that, like, it just kind of gets you thinking already, like, well, what is exactly going on here? What is this about? And then, of course, the idea is to incorporate while they're on the ride. We've got these headrests, that'll be in play. So, and the headrest will allow people to, like, scan a QR code. And, we're looking at a couple of different things. First off, May is American Stroke Month. So the first one we're looking at is telling people about F.A.S.T. Which is a great tool. Again, if you know that acronym, you know how to spot a stroke. So actually on the headrest while they're driving, they'll see information and a QR code that they can zap. How cool is it for you guys to be able to make something that, it's a simple thing. It's a headrest cover. But it's amazing what it can do. With technology today, you can now zap it and you're looking at information.
It's fun because it's something that really is super simple, right? The headrest cover itself is analog per se.
Very analog, yes.
Physical thing you can stick on there. But what's great about it is you have somebody's attention who's literally sitting in a seat staring at this message for their entire ride, which may be 10 minutes or it could be an hour and a half.
Right.
And then, like you said, we've taken this analog or real world thing and you guys added a great QR code. So now you can pull out your phone, you can scan that QR code, and you can get into a wealth of even more information in the digital world. So you're linking, again, real world with digital stuff. You're on your way to some type of health appointment. Now you're getting more information about some maybe health factors that you haven't thought of in a long time or maybe not thought of at all. And this is super important information that may save somebody's life.
Well, and the cool thing is maybe if they're on their way to a doctor, it might even incorporate them to say, hey, you know what, I should probably ask my doctor about this. If my uncle, had a stroke, well, that could be something that could happen to me. So I love the fact that we could do something, again, it's you have their full attention. There's nothing else really to look at, the back of the headrest. But you have their full attention and you still find a way to make it interesting. It's engaging, and that's one of the things that we've always talked about. We want to meet people where they are, and goodness gracious, they're on their smartphones. So if you can find something that kind of gets their attention there, that's a positive. Now, one of the other things that we've talked about during the month of May is some actual clinics and stuff. So talk a little bit about what it means for you to have, which you guys have a phenomenal facility there in North Charleston, but what does it mean for you to be able to offer those kinds of services to the community?
Well, I think again, it's a super cool idea because not only do we want to get information out in the vehicles, and the vehicles are all over the place.
They are indeed, yes.
But we can do some more stuff at our facility at Link HQ in North Charleston. So we said, hey, AHA, let's do something really cool there. Whatever you guys want. Again, we have this 2,000 square foot space.
It is a massive space.
If you want to do some type of clinics there, you can. And so Holly, magically as always, and got together and said, okay, let's make something happen. And so now we've got Health Right coming Wednesday, May 29th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. They'll be there with their mobile clinic there.
Which is excellent.
Right. And so now we have a place where people can come and get even free services. We can do blood pressure monitoring, glucose type stuff. We can really take a look at what's going on with the cardiovascular system from a basic standpoint.
Very basic, but still very important.
Right. And so,
And what's great? They can take a Link ride to get there.
That's right. Yeah. So that's what's great. But yeah, there's a couple ways you can do it, right? If you can use one of our vehicles, we'll get you there and get you taken care of. And or if you drive there, one of our other divisions is Link Automotive, and we do auto repair work.
I can attest to the fact I had a tire plug there just recently, and it was amazing how quick and easy it was, and super cost effective. So I can vouch. It's a good service. And I didn't even realize that you had that service, and I was just looking up, I had to get my tire plugged, and I was like, where can I get my tire fixed? And there it came up, and I'm like, man, you guys do everything. It's amazing. But talk about the importance of being able to offer those clinics there, being a part of the community, which I know that's a big thing for you guys.
Well, we have this building, and my goal with everything is always to maximize what we have to the fullest. So you've got this space, and let's make more and more and more use out of it. So we've been kind of fixing it up, getting it in order, and this is really one of the first use public examples of this space. So I think it's going to be fantastic to get people there, to get people in there, to use it for the community.
Right.
And hopefully we can keep doing this. Not only are we doing the stroke awareness stuff, but we have the CPR the following week in June. So that Wednesday, June 5th, we're going to be doing a hands-on CPR clinic there. So it's just a great use of a community space, keep us involved with the community, and help people out, which is what we like to do.
And on that, related to that note, is that in the month of June, we'll have a different headrest.
That's right.
And that headrest cover will actually guide people to learn how to do hands-only CPR. And again, we preach it all the time because it's 2 simple steps. Call 911. Push hard and fast in the center of the chest. The great thing is they'll have that information on the headrest when they zap the QR code, takes them right to a video that shows them exactly how to do it. And it's amazing how simple it is, but in a rural state like West Virginia, the simple fact is if you were to have a cardiac arrest in certain areas of this state, it could take EMTs 45 minutes to an hour to reach you.
Easily.
You know this from what you've seen in Link.
Easily.
And the simple fact is the numbers show that for every minute that you don't get help, you lose about 10% of a chance of surviving. So within 5 minutes, you're a 50-50 chance.
Right.
And if no one's getting that help, if no one's seeing anything until an EMT arrives, it's probably not going to be the best outcome. So we're very excited about the fact that the first week of June every year is CPR Awareness Week. And it's excellent that we can actually offer this kind of service there again in North Charleston, with Link being able to provide people transportation to get to this service, but to be able to learn hands-only CPR. It's one of those things I tell people all the time. When it comes to CPR, I would rather know how to do it and never have to use it than watch a family member of mine drop and not know what to do. And the simple fact is, it's not a hard thing to learn. We've even passed legislation so that every high school graduate has to have gone through some sort of training before they can graduate. But it's one of those things that we are definitely, we want everybody to know CPR. We've got a nationwide campaign, the Nation of Lifesavers, and it's wonderful that we can bring that to life right there in North Charleston at that facility. That is an incredible thing. And of course, bringing it to life in every one of those cars.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, for you, obviously, you definitely want to see that engagement in the community. What does it mean, for Link, to be able to offer these genuinely great, cardiovascular health services and generally life-saving services with training of CPR?
Well, I think it's fantastic, obviously, for everybody out there in the community, but it's also fantastic for our team.
Sure.
Because these trainings, a lot of people end up doing them over a lifetime. I've probably done this a couple times.
Sure.
But it's one of those things where it's great to have a refresher. It's great to get it in your mind. So to be able to have our team get a refresher on it, or our team learn it for the first time, so that they're more prepared, is fantastic. So, not only are we doing this for the community, we'll also be having our team go through a training as well, so they can learn more about this stuff. And the more of the drivers that can do it, it's fantastic. The more of the office team that can do it, it would be great. And, God forbid, hopefully you never have to, but if that has to be done by one of our team members somewhere, either on a trip or here at our facility, the more educated they can be about, performing any type of CPR service on somebody, the better they're prepared to help save people's lives. So I can't wait for it.
Yeah, and it's definitely one of those things. Your drivers, you never know what they're going to encounter, and the more prepared they are, the better.
Oh, yeah.
I really appreciate the fact, too, that Link is stepping up. We had just talked about in our last episode with the passage of our cardiac emergency response plan bill. That is now law. And we were so excited to see that Link was taking on, creating their own plan. And I cannot say thanks enough for doing that, because, as you said, you've got an automotive side there. You're bringing in people from all different walks.
Everywhere, yeah.
And anything can happen at any given time.
That's
and to be prepared like that's real initiative on your all's part to take that on. You're one of the first businesses outside of just the schools to take that on in the region. So thank you so much for seeing the importance of that.
Yeah, when you mentioned it, I was like, done. We'll do it.
We definitely got to be ready.
Right, no brainer.
And really, it is what it comes down to. That emergency response plan is so important, because if you work with the public in whatever way, shape, or form, if something were to happen at your facility, you would want everybody there to know that just the basic idea of what to do, because it's scary when someone drops. And everybody's going to be panicky. But if there's a plan in place, then this person knows they're doing this person knows they're doing that, this person knows what to do next. It really does matter. Timing is everything. And when you have a plan like that in place, you are really setting yourself up for a successful outcome, regardless of what happens. As we move forward, obviously we'll be looking at different ways to work together throughout the year. And it's the kind of partnership that we love to see, because it's not the usual kind of partnership people think of for us. And but at the same time, when we started talking about it, I'm like, why have we not already done this? This is absolutely genius. So thank you for seeing that. Going forward, what does it mean for you to see Link being, connected to the American Heart Association to offer that kind of education and that kind of outreach into the community?
Well, I think it's fantastic, and now we want to do more of it. So that's kind of the premises of Link, is linking that community together and helping small communities where we are and all around the state of West Virginia. So we're looking forward to doing this as much as we can with all kinds of different partners. So anybody who wants to kind of reach out to us and say, hey, I think your platforms are great for us.
Yes.
Whether it's Link Automotive or Link Transportation or Link Local, which is another app that we have that's all about linking the community together with great information. And we're going to have information about Ride with Heart on our Link Local app.
Excellent.
So, again, I think it's part of being a responsible player in the community, and we're more than happy to do it with you guys and to do it with anybody else out there who has great ideas that make sense for this.
Well, one thing we really appreciate the fact that you guys really do see the value of that work in the community. And anytime we can find a community partner who's willing to step outside the box and try something different, we are always about that. And Of course, the thing is, when it comes to heart disease and stroke, they aren't confined to 1 month or 1 week. No. They are, year round. So I am certain we will find different ways to work together. Now, before we cut out real quick, remind people the websites they can check out to access Ride with Heart and to just check out more about Link.
Yeah, Link WV is the easiest one.
Link WV, that's a great one to remember.
LinkWV.com, and that will branch you off to anything else that we do with all our different divisions.
Well, Jeb, thank you so much for the time today, and
Thanks
thank you so much for the partnership.
Oh,
I mean, these partnerships matter. And they really do make a difference, and they really help us to move the needle in the right direction when it comes to public health. We look forward to the press event later on today, and we look forward to a great campaign with you and future campaigns down the road.
Absolutely. We're super excited, and thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, that will bring this episode of From the Heart to a close. As always, if you would like to know more about what we talked about today, you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/AHAWV. You can also find us on Instagram and Twitter at AHA_WV. You can also reach out to me directly. My email address is kevin.polly@heart.org. And of course, if you want to look at all things heart, you can find us online at heart.org. And if you're interested in stroke, you can find us online at stroke.org. Remember, May is American Stroke Month. Know the signs of a stroke. Know FAST. Face drooping, arm weakness, slurred speech, and T, the most important, time to call 911. You never can tell when this could be something that could be a benefit to you. The good news is, if you're riding around in a Link vehicle this month, you'll have information right there at your fingertips. Simply take a picture of the QR code and learn everything that you can about FAST and about how to spot a stroke. And then, of course, if you're there in June, you'll learn all about hands-only CPR. CPR Awareness Week is 1 week in June, but we want everybody to know CPR year-round. It's one of those things that there's never a bad time to learn, it's never too late to learn, and everybody should know how to do it. Well, that will bring this episode to a close. Thank you again for joining us, and we'll see you next time on From the Heart. Helping keep you informed on the Library Television Network, I'm Kevin Polly. Here's wishing you good health and a happy heart.